Rosa Macaulay Parks was born February 4th, 1913, in Tuskegee, Alabama. She was the daughter of James and Lenona Macaulay. As a child, Rosa's parents separated and she moved with her mother to a town called Pine Level. She had one brother named Sylvester, which she grew up with, including her mother and her grandparents. During the 20th century, Jim Crow laws were established. Rosa was restricted from many public places because of these laws. In 1939, she married a barber from Montgomery, Alabama named Raymond Parks. Raymond was a part of a group called the NAACP, or National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Rosa worked many jobs. A domestic worker, which is someone who works within an employer's household, like a housekeeper. She was a seamstress and even a hospital aide. With the help of her husband, Rosa finished high school in 1933 at the age of 20. She attended Booker T. Washington High School. Rosa volunteered and was elected to be the secretary for the president of the NAACP, Edgar Nixon, in 1943.
Well, I was arrested on December 1st, 1955 for refusing to stand up on the orders of the bus driver after the white seats had been occupied in the front. And of course I was not in the front of the bus as many people have written and spoken that I got on the bus and took a front seat, but I did not. I took a seat that was just back of where the white people were sitting. And in fact, the last seat, and the man was next to the window, and I took an aisle seat, and there were two women across. And we went on undisturbed until about the second or third stop when some white people boarded the bus and left one man standing. And when the driver noticed him standing, he told us to stand up and let him have those seats. He referred to them as front seats. And when the other three people, after some hesitancy, stood up, he wanted to know if I was going to stand. I told him I was not, and he told me he would have me arrested. And I told him he may do that. And of course he did.
On December 1st, 1955, Rosa Parks, a 42-year-old African-American woman who worked as a seamstress, boarded a Montgomery City bus to go home from work. On this bus, on this day, Rosa Parks initiated a new era of the American quest for freedom and equality. She sat near the middle of the bus, just behind the 10 seats reserved for the whites. Soon all of the seats in the bus were filled. When a white man entered the bus, the driver, following the standard practice of segregation, insisted that all four blacks sitting just behind the white section had to give up their seats so this man could sit there. Miss Parks, who was an active member of the local NAACP, quietly refused to give up her seat. Her action was spontaneous and not premeditated, although her previous civil rights involvements and strong sense of justice were obvious influences. When I made that decision, she said later, I knew that I had the strength of my ancestors with me. In 2004, Rosa was diagnosed with a progressive dementia and died the following year on October 24, 2005. 3 days after Rosa's death, all of the city buses in Montgomery and Detroit were reserved their front seats with black ribbons in her honor, and remained this way until Rosa was put to her final resting place. The journey of the cemetery was a long one, the one that recapped everything that she stood and believed in her whole life. In honor of Rosa, a movie came out portraying her glory. It's called The Rosa Parks Story, and here's a clip.
In the season of our uncertainty, in the heat of the moment, one woman defined what America stood for.
I came here to register.
You didn't pass.
What? As a U.S. citizen, I have a right to vote, and no person can keep me from that right.
Are you a member?
Member.
Of the NAACP? That's us.
Well, you want my approval? Stick your neck out with a bunch of cowards down at the NAACP.
For the first time in my life, I feel like I can help.
They're using you, Rosa. Can't you see it?
Yes, I do see it. And I don't mind.
Well, I mind.
Well, let me have those front seats. I said, what do you think you're doing?
Do not put your hands on me.
Academy Award nominee Angela Bassett and Emmy Award winner Cicely Tyson.
Knowing what you do now, you would still do exactly the same thing because you can't help yourself.
All I wanted was what everybody else on the bus wanted, and I have a right to my dignity when I'm taking that 10-cent ride.
In a film by Julie Dash.
It's a moment we've all been waiting for. We have got to take a stand.
I say we stop riding that bus.
We had to board up the house for safety. We can't take much more of this.
If we are wrong, the Supreme Court of this nation is wrong. If we are wrong, the Constitution of the United States is wrong. If we are wrong, God Almighty is wrong.
Are you gonna move?
No.
Angela Bassett is Rosa Parks.
And go home to my Lord and be free.
The U.S. Postal Service dedicated Rosa Parks as a postage stamp. This stamp is a huge honor and of accomplishment, and it portrays her character and self-accomplishment and dignified human being. Her impact will affect us greatly, and we will never forget her, nor what she has done.